First up is Andrea, and this is looking pretty flawless. Really, just very good work here. Um, hard pressed to find anything wrong with it, including this very complicated and difficult shape here. And you beveled the edges, these wheels. Wow, just great. Um, and yeah, organized into groups and named. It's just exemplary. There's really nothing to critique on this one. So, great work. Next up is Ekaterina, and yeah, another excellent model here. It's really got a lot of good detail. Again, you've dealt with these very complicated shapes well. It's got all these small pieces beveled in all the right places. Maybe I would have gone with a little bit more divisions here on the rounding on that, but it's fine. Yeah, all this is looking really good. There's possibly a few more optional pieces you could have added down here, but yeah, really excellent work. I think that yeah, you've named all the groups. You have some kind of unnamed pieces there. You might put those in another subgroup, but and maybe name some of these groups. So it might be nice to get that a little cleaned up. But really, this is excellent work. You've done great. Next up is Lindsay, and yeah, another good-looking chair. Just this is. I don't tend to like to combine these. That's probably from the mirror options, I'm guessing. Oh, there's no history on it, so it's hard to tell. If you do combine them like this, you can always do mesh separate, and then they're two separate surfaces again. I suppose for this it doesn't matter too much either way. This one doesn't look like it quite got beveled, so you might want to do that for those edges. These did get beveled, but maybe, look a little too rounded. I might have gone a little smaller on those, the roundness, but it's not too big of a deal either way. But they looked a little sharper, I thought, in the artwork. This is a nice piece. It's a good addition. So yeah, I think this is really good. You've got a lot of attention to detail here, and yeah, everything came together nicely. So yeah, another one really good work. I think that this could be a little more cleaned up at the very least. Just group these, call that chair or whatever. But then inside here, oops, missed that one. You could be, give some more names and for some of these and clean this up a little bit. But overall the modeling is really, really good. Great job. Next up is Vincent, and yeah, we've got another good-looking one here. Yeah, everything seems to be in order. I think that you missed some, so this isn't beveled here, and I would do that. I like that you've added this thing. I think there was like a piece kind of come. Oh, I see. You're just missing this guy on that side, so make sure to mirror that over. Something's looking not kind of put together about this. I think it just needs, like a bevel on these sharp corners, so might want to go back in and do that. Here, That's all right. Okay, and yeah, you've got some nice detail underneath. And again, dealt with this very complex shape. So yeah, I think you've got yeah, all the stuff in here. I think it's looking really good. Again, I might just go through and in your some of the stuff has history on it, so you could go through and delete the history. And looks like you've got most of the groups named, although there's a few groups you could name, so you could clean up the naming a little bit. But yeah, another really good one with everything done pretty well. Nice. Okay, next up is Natalie, and looks like you're not quite as far along. You got some of the basic shapes in there, and that's good. These aren't done yet, and yes, this isn't quite right. So I think there's a lot left to do here. Also, this doesn't line up with the... I'm wondering, did you bring in the image planes? Oh, it looks like you have image planes in here. Because I'm just noticing that the proportions of the legs are so different. They're very small and they're not touching the ground. So make sure you're matching the image planes with that. And yeah, some of these you're kind of struggling with. And you also have duplicates on top of each other, which can be a little confusing. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to fix here, but I think the thing to do is just to really take your time with the videos, because if I demonstrated here, I would just be doing a watered down version of what there's already a video for. So really take your time and go through the video step by step. And if you you mentioned in your post that things weren't working like they did in the videos, and I just need to know which ones you're getting stuck on. So please ask, say, oh, when I tried to move this here or snap that there, or just list whatever you're struggling with, and I can try to like re-demonstrate that specific thing. But without knowing exactly what the problem is, it's hard to know. I mean, this shape is looking really good, so clearly you've got some stuff going on, and you've got this one started anyway, but there's that's not quite right, and there's a lot of issues in there. So yeah, I mean, I would take a step back with some of these and redo them to match more closely, and then continue forward. But so you're getting some of the basic ideas, and that's good, but I think this has a ways to go, and I would take a couple steps back before moving forward again. Next up is Francis, and yeah, this is looking good. Just looking at smooth. I think if I'm seeing this faceted thing, it might be if I do shift right mouse click and go soften edge, and that might... Why does it still look like a hard edge? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just smoothing some of these things, so you can do that. Yeah, you do have the bevel on here. Yeah, it looks like you're getting all these difficult shapes in there correctly. Is there an extra edge there? It's just not softened. I don't know why this don't look softened when they look faceted for some reason, and I'm not sure, because normally if you soften I've resolved that, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I think this is all looking really good. I think you mentioned you didn't get as far as you want, but it looks like you've got pretty much all of it done, so that looks good. Yeah, nice work all around. Maybe a little, just touch up on how this intersects here. I might, do like a soft select or something, or even just pick those things and move them back. Oh, that's not so great. Maybe do soft select and grow that selection so it sort of keeps that smooth. Well, maybe even bigger. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Um, okay, but yeah, good work on this, and get stuff named and put it all in a group and stuff. But yeah, you've done a nice job. Okay, next up is Yao Nan, and yeah, another one that's looking pretty good. Um, I think that this got a little bit too dense. I think you went maybe too far with the smooth there, and had too many divisions, and also you're kind of running into this sort of faceted look, but that's kind of built into the smooth, and we don't have the history to step this back, so I might, if you have a previous version or something, you might try to fix that a little bit. Maybe, take a look at some of these kind of intersections here and make adjustments to clean that up. And yeah, this piece is looking really nice. The wheels are a bit different. I think that the wheels, they were kind of flat on this side and more rounded on this side and met more closely together. So yeah, I think for the most part this looks good. I think there's a few little details that could be improved. That looks a little bit big of a divot there. I think these were kind of more sharp transitions here. You might need like an extra extrude when you're doing some of this stuff. Looks like you're accidentally hitting S for keyframe, unless I just did that. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I don't know. So yeah, a few details, minor tweaks. I like that you've done these kind of extra pedals and dials and stuff like that. That's really good. I think maybe that curve is a bit too dipped compared to the artwork, but yeah, overall nice work. And again, if you can clean up the outliner, name stuff, put into a group, that would be better. Next up is Alayna, and looks like you had a pretty good start, but you have a ways to go. And you had a number of questions, so I'll just address these one at a time. So the channel changer is not visible for me, so I could not toggle to world value. So what I think you mean is that, I'm just going to demonstrate on like a cube here, is if I like grab a face here and then, whoops, I have soft select on, I'm going to hit B to get out of that. If I do shift right mouse click extrude face, this little blue guy here, the channel changer, which is my made up name for it. I don't think that's the real name. So, and if I change this, it switches modes from object, local to world. And so one thing is, if I go to like move mode or something, but I still have this selected, if I hit T for show manipulator tool, it'll get me back into the extrude mode and get that back. And that's this button right here. So like if I get out of it, I can go back into it, and I might get that back. If you're still struggling, let me do a different example, just that'll make it more obvious. So I'm grabbing these four and I'll extrude these out, and if I do it like that, I get this result. But if I change it to world, right, they all move in one direction. So if without hitting T or that you still can't get it back, or undoing or whatever, then what you can do is, if I hold down W and click, I can have object or world mode. So that doesn't necessarily solve this, but if I want to be like in world, I can just go to world and that'll all move together. If I wanted to move these outward, I could, again, hold on W, left mouse click, and I can go to axis normal, and oh, it won't do that for faces, will it? Okay. So object, yeah. I mean, I think it's just to get that exact result, you have to hit the T thing. If I do Control F9, that switches to vertex selection, and then if I hold down W and go to axis normal, I can move these out in the normal direction, if that's helpful, if you want to kind of move them outward, although in this case it's also moving them up, so that's not necessarily a great thing. So it look like here, yeah, those aren't really doing anything for you. So yeah. Next question. When I try to extrude faces, I cannot figure out how to deselect a single face. when I select it, it automatically selects two faces that are opposite. So first of all, when you're selecting faces, um, if I, let me just look in this wireframe, if I do a marquee select here, it's selecting faces on both sides. But if I instead just click, it's selecting face on one side. So when you first select, just click rather than marquee select, and you shouldn't get the two faces. If you do end up with two faces, I just did a marquee select there, if you hold down Control, and you can either marquee select or regular select, that will deselect without selecting anything else. So Control Select. There's another one which is like if I wanted to add to the selection, Control and Shift will add to the selection. So it'll keep the existing selection and add to it. So if you have two things selected, Control Select deselects. And when I choose Curve CV, reset the settings, and start making my marks holding Shift, the first three stay straight as expected. When I make the fourth mark upwards to create a curve, my line stays straight. So let's take a look at that. Create curves, CV curve tool. Just reset it. Let's make sure. Okay. And I'm holding down Shift. And I think if I, well, at least Shift, and then like start a curve there, and then hold down Shift, I can go straight up. So maybe that's what you're trying to do. I think if you, yeah, if I just try to do this and then go, oh no, that's going up for me without, yeah, I don't know. So it should be fine. It should just keep you on, one axis or the other. So yeah, I guess I'm not sure exactly what went wrong there. And then I cannot figure out how to deselect specific vertices. Again, just get in there, and if you've got some vertices selected and you want to deselect them, just if I want to deselect this one, I can just control click right on that one. I don't have to do a marquee select, and I can deselect that. I hit F to frame selected. That helps too, to get kind of close to the thing that you want to select or deselect. I hope that helped. I think that mostly you need to just kind of get back into those videos and follow step by step and get this done. You've got a good start, but you need to keep going. Okay, next up is Ariana, and you say you're having some issue with mirroring stuff. So do you have a whole like arm assembly here? You do. What is that? Is that in? I'm gonna hit Shift P. That Shift P unparented. That back camera was in your group with your arm assembly here. So it looks like you have that, and there's a couple ways to mirror. One way is you can just Control D duplicate and scale it -1 across the axis, and that will mirror it. You can also try using, well, let me mirror from here. I thought it does. And there are mirror options and cut geometry. Combine with original, no. See if that works. Oh, it doesn't like that. Copy. Oh, okay, we want that turned off. No? Alright. Oh, it might be. Yeah, let me go back. I usually just do the duplicate and scale it -1, to be honest with you. Mirror axis X. Yeah, that's right. I think that it's not going across the... Yeah, I think that's not going to work. I think just do the duplicate and then do the -1 thing, like I did in the first place. I think mirror geometry is more for an individual object being mirrored, like the two sides of the same object. Now this, what I'm guessing is happening here, and it's kind of annoying because honestly I think it's a glitch with Maya. I don't think it should happen. But if I take an object like this, and without making any changes, if I adjust the subdivisions, fine. But sometimes it seems like if I modify the object first, and then try to change the sub. No, that's not happening. Let me try it like something like this. And then try to change the sub. Yeah, it freaks out, not unlike what you've got there. So Maya seems to, and honestly, I think this is more recent. It seems to not like changing subdivisions after the surface has been modified. So change the default one and then scale it and adjust it into position. Change the subdivisions first and then change it. And so I'm guessing that's what's happening. I think you're doing pretty good. I mean, you've got a lot. Like this piece is really hard, and you got that done, and a little something going on here. So I might try that one again. Something went a little wrong. Guessing might have been when you beveled it. I wonder what would happen. By the way, this is dangerous to delete these nodes, but it sometimes can work. I'm just wondering what would happen if I deleted that bevel. There it is. Select, delete. Ooh. Okay, yeah, sometimes it just freaks out when you do that, as in this case, especially when you're doing it out of order. Like, it seems to be more likely to work if I kind of worked my way from the take out extrude 16 then 50, if you delete them in that order. But yeah, something's gone a little wrong here, so I might try that one again. But mostly, I mean, you've got a lot of some of the difficult pieces done, so I would say you're a good part of the way there. You just need to keep going. So yeah, I hope that helped with the mirroring. Just again, just duplicate it and then scale -1 in the X, as long as the pivot points in the origin. That'll be fine. Yeah, and let me know what other problems you were running into. Okay, next up is Sharon, and I see what you're saying with the smoothed thing here. I've just hit 1, so 1, 2, 3, and I think that's what you're saying. And then if when you add the bevels and stuff, it'll hold the shape better if you hit 3. So I think that's what you're missing there. These shapes, I think we're looking for something a lot more rounded. Something went not quite right. It's what I think it is that you beveled before you smoothed it. So you beveled it, you smoothed it, you tweaked it, and then you beveled it. And I think we just wanted to. Did we even bevel this one? I thought I just increased the divisions and then smoothed it, and then did the bends and stuff. So I think, yeah, kind of review how I did that one. Yeah, and then these they need to be smoothed and all that stuff. Yeah, you're getting that mirror to work for 2 different objects. I don't know what I was doing wrong there. It's not a big deal. So yeah, kind of review that, because I took the cube, I increased the divisions, I smoothed it, and then I did the bends, and I did the bend one way, and I did the bend the other way. So take another look at that. It looks like you're doing pretty well with this very difficult piece. There's some weird edges in there, but I guess that's okay. Maybe that could be adjusted slightly. Yeah, and then just more to do, the wheels and some of the other detail on the bottom and the plastic piece. But again, I think getting these sort of taking a step back with these and doing the way I did it, and then these as well. And again, I think when you did the mirror, you had the combined with original on, and so I would just say keep those separate, mesh separate. But either way, I wouldn't mirror it until the modeling is done and it's all rounded and stuff. So yeah, I mean, you've got a ways to go. You've got a good start, and you have some of the complicated stuff done. Just keep going. Next up is Joanna, and yeah, this is looking great. You mentioned being frustrated and all that stuff, but I think you've really done a nice job on this. So yeah, it looks like you're kind of getting everything really right. Maybe get a bevel on that. Looks like you've got a little tweak in there to fix. Is there a bevel on this? Oh, it's just kind of tiny. Maybe a couple extra edges there. But yeah, you got all these different round pieces looking good. These are looking nice. You were saying you were struggling with the bi-rail. I know that's a hard part. A lot of people did, but what I would say is, for all of you guys, just when you're struggling, ask a question. Don't sit there and suffer in silence. Ask for help. That's what I'm here for. That's what your classmates are here for. So, yeah, get in there and ask for help. But yeah, I mean, you've built a lot of complicated shapes very well. This looks good. I think you could organize the outliner a little more and get some more things named, but otherwise, yeah. All right, and now we have Shane, and yeah, another really good one. All this nice detail with the paddle and these other pieces, and this guy over here. It's looking really good. Might have done bevels along the bottom there, at least small ones. Maybe along the edge of this as well. I tend to like even quote unquote sharp corners to be beveled at least a little bit. It kind of helps with the look of it. This maybe get a little more rounded. It looks a little blocky here. I think somehow part of this didn't get mirrored across, and that's like part of that group, which is it's not. Oh, anyway, it's weird when I go up. Yeah, that's like part of this group. So, anyways, get that figured out. But yeah, I mean, really, it's quite good. There's just a few little things to clean up there, and yeah, maybe I probably wouldn't put the image planes in this group or the cameras and stuff. I would keep those out of the group. You can that's an image plane too. You can do Shift P to ungroup those from that, and just keep the geometry of the chair in there, and not all the cameras. And then maybe get this a little more organized and some of the groups named and those kinds of things. But yeah, overall, you've done a very good job.